Last time on Almost Heroes.
We picked up traveling north towards the enraged volcanoes when we had three strange figures appear. One of them an orc who had blades for hands. His name was Udak. He recognized Glynn and he invited us back to their camp. Once arriving, we discovered that the group themselves was the Evan Liberation Force, ELF, and they were escaped slaves from the Evan Depths themselves. Udak agreed to take us closer to get a better look at the mine entrance, and at first glance, the mine seemed normal, but after looking past the illusion magic, the mine was covered in iconography of Torog, the god of slavers and torture. Along with Udak, we hatched a plan to infiltrate the mine, pretending to be traders. After putting the lookout to sleep, we were able to sneak in. It was then, as we hid in the darkness from a couple null gods, that Rangrim's hand began to glow and a powerful rage started to grow inside him. He no longer saw his companions as friends, but now as foes. And that's where we left off. Sorry, guys.
So with that brings us to episode 23, Into the Depths. As we just alluded, we pick up with our almost heroes having just entered the Ebon Depths mine, closing the door behind them. And the Ebon Depths mine is located at the base of the Ebon Ridge volcanoes. And two Knoll guards had just discovered the unconscious Kenku outside that they had put to sleep, and were running past the hidden forms of our heroes as trying to sound the alert, as Glynn had come out of the shadows to attack one of them to try to stop them from sounding the alarm. And as Rangrim saw Glynn attack this Knoll, who he previously would have given no cares about, his hand suddenly started to glow that kind of like burning orange again, and he just started feeling just angry, just like didn't know why at first and confused, and then kind of started to feel like this elf that it's attacking his friends, this Knoll who's his friend, like why is this elf attacking him, and just kind of getting angry at that. And that's where we are going to pick up. Glynn, you've just attacked this Knoll, so I need for you to make an attack roll on it.
How I would like to attack would be as I'm lunging for this Knoll. Sorry, I'm looking at Astral. They're grouped like they were walking right next to each other, or starting to like run right next to each other, right?
They're running, yeah. They're kind of like slightly single file, just kind of off kilter of each other, but you, I believe, were attacking the back one. If you want to attack the other one, you totally can. But yeah, they're just kind of running past you guys, and so you're attacking them as they're running past.
Perfect. Then I would grab one of those mushrooms from my back pocket and just spray it in a 5-foot cloud directly in front of me, trying to spray both of the Knolls with the shroom juice.
You're going to have to make the save because you are also going to be in that, because it's a radius when it's activated.
So what if I chucked it at the Knoll farther from me? Would I be out of the radius?
Yes. So you'll have to make a range attack throw, and then we can do that.
Oh, what is that? How do I do that? Do I have advantage on that? Throw mushroom. What do you think I should roll for that?
Yeah, so I think there would be a improvised weapon of sorts. Well, I guess it would be like kind of like a dagger throw. Let's just say that you are taking them by surprise. You are behind them. So I would just roll it as if you were going to throw a dagger, something like that.
All right. I like that. I'm looking at dagger. I like the numbers. It's a natural 19 plus 8. So it's a 27 to hit the guy 4 feet in front of me.
Okay. So you toss these. Are you still throwing 2 or are you just throwing 1?
No, I would just throw 1. The description of it is it expands a 5-foot area. So
So you take this little violet colored mushroom and you just huck it kind of impotently at the back of this Knoll, and it hits him and just kind of in the back of the head and just goes and just releases this cloud in a 5-foot radius of this kind of like slightly violet plume. And I'm going to roll some Constitution saving throws for them. Ooh, that is a 2 for the first one, and that is an 18 for the second one. So the one with the axe saves, the one with the dagger, the one you hit with it does not save. And kind of like you hear him kind of take a couple like deep breaths, like, and then just goes and slides across the floor as he is now unconscious. So the one that is holding the daggers is now unconscious, and you can see a nice little sleep bubble coming out of his nose. And the one with the axe is kind of able to shake it off, but is now aware of the fact that like there's some sort of shit going on, and is looking around and now does see you.
Okay. Do we roll for initiative, or are we?
Rangrim, you're very angry. What do you want to do?
Okay, so quick question. Do I get any sort of save against turning into a murderous rage monster?
Yes, you do. I have a system set up. It's a little bit. You're basically going to be making wisdom saving throws with disadvantage. Feeling the way you do right now, what does Rangrim do? And if you say you want to go into like full blown attack, we'll roll into initiative. I just wanted to give you like the total option of like what you want to do.
What Rangrim would do, assuming that he is full crazy right now and he thinks those gnolls are his friends, he's basically just going to run up behind Glynn and say, you away from me, friends, and big warhammer swing to the back of Glynn's head. Oh, it's only 13.
Yeah, does not hit.
Whew, awesome. So so Rangrim, you run up behind Glynn, you yell at him, and try to swing this thing at him, and Glynn, you kind of like catch this out of the corner of your eye, and you're able to like duck out of the way of this warhammer, taken highly off guard by the fact that like Rangrim, are you still invisible, or because you attacked does it go away?
Yeah, it's not greater invisibility, so because I attacked it would have gone away.
Gotcha. So you kind of just see this warhammer swiping down at you, and then as he attacks, he just like appears and is now behind you. So that's going to bring us to the top of the initiative order. Glynn, what do you do?
So as it just goes swiping by me, he goes, hell, Rangrim. I mean, my ears are kind of pointy, but theirs are way pointier. We got to get these guys. And I would immediately just turn back and stab at the gnoll that's still up. So the axe gnoll. I would just take a stab at him with my double-bladed. Oh, that might not hit. 16 to hit.
Yes, just barely.
Oh wow, cool.
I had a "Are you not surprised?" ready, like just there. But.
11 damage to him.
Okay.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to very much disengage. And take my 30. Well, actually, I don't know if I would necessarily go 30. Try to get out of his range.
Ooh, that's smart too, because that disengages so that you don't get an attack of opportunity from Rangrim.
Well, yeah. Do I know?
I don't think you know that Rangrim is aggressive. You're just disengaging and just kind of you're getting out of the way, whether or not you actually know it or not.
So down here, is this like climbable, or is this the wall? Like down
that's a pile of rocks. So I'll say that it's just a pile of boulders that probably slants up maybe about 6 feet against the wall. So kind of it becomes, by the way, it's rough terrain as soon as you start seeing those rocks. So you basically are going to move half your movement as you're moving up them.
Perfect. So I would take that stab at him. I'm guessing since he saw me attack his friend, I didn't have advantage, ergo no sneak attack.
Yes.
But I will disengage and through rough terrain go behind Rangrim and be like, and as I'm like going by and be like, make sure you're swinging at the right guys this time. And I just don't think he's mad at me. We're friends. We're good buddies.
Good buddy, old pals.
That's my turn.
Rangrim, it is your turn.
Rangrim's just going to turn directly around. Like, come up behind me. And he is going to take another swing with his warhammer. This time casting Searing Smite. A 2!
Man, your dice love Glynn.
They do.
They are not helping you right now.
Unless someone's dice cares about me, mine don't.
So that
just
is my
mail
whole
the
turn.
dice to each other.
Searing Smite is a bonus action, so
Okay.
that's it for good old Rangrim.
Okay, so this time, Glynn, you see that. Rangrim, you had to move back towards him to do that. So I think that, like, Glynn, you see that Rangrim has now turned and is charging you with his flaming warhammer, trying to like straight up murk on you. And as you see this and you look into your friend's eyes, you see very familiar eyes to that you've seen of Regalia, which is that they are pitch black. There is no white. There's nothing else. It is like his whole eye is turned black. And because he's not wearing his his underground monocle right now, so he just has the one eye patch and one extremely like pitch black eye, and that does not bode well.
No, it does not.
Rangrim, roll me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh, my wisdom save was righteous.
Yeah, you got a good wisdom save.
It doesn't matter when I roll a 1 on the save.
Yeah, I think that is extremely fitting. You are just like this powerful rage is just like completely overcome you. Like this person, it's like they have just like, told the very worst like yo mama joke, and you are so offended right now that they would try to hurt these friends of yours, and you're going to do anything you can to prevent that from happening again. You're just like completely overcome with rage. And with that, we're going to move on to the Knoll, who with the axe here, who's going to turn around and is just going to dogpile on, pun intended, on Glynn as well, and just throw down with his friend Rangrim. That is a 17 plus 3 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
All right, that's just going to be 5 damage as he swipes down with his axe, this kind of like old beat up axe, and just kind of nicks you for 5 damage. And that is going to bring to the end of the Knoll's turn, and that's going to bring to Kazmo.
Right. So Cosmo's going to see all of this.
Yes, very much so.
Stuff, shenanigans going on.
Glynn is very pinned down, by the way. Like, think of this edge here as like the doors. You get like Glynn is basically hunkered up on these pile of rocks against the doors, being like completely like overcome by these two people.
Right. So Cosmo is going to see the one Knoll, dagger, the dagger Knoll on the ground sleeping, and he'll yell over to Udak and just, Udak, tie up this guy. I'm gonna help with the other one. And then Cosmo is going to run across, I guess. Okay, all right. And then I'll see the Knoll like swinging the axe on Glynn, and I'll say, "You there, drop that axe!" And then he needs to make me a wisdom save.
Okay. Can you command weapons to disarm?
I can say drop it.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's good. How's a nat 1 for you?
He drops it. That is actually
I'll say that he dropped, because of a nat 1, he drops it and it just like falls, it like slides down between some of the rocks and is like completely out of his grasp. He cannot just pick it up again.
Yeah, so the command would be drop, and it says the target drops whatever it is. Ends its turn, but it's so.
Yeah, you have a very unarmed Knoll now.
Great. Okay. Then I think that is my action. I have nothing else that I would want to do. That's all I got.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that would bring us to the Knoll, the Knoll's turn with daggers, but it is still sleeping. So
when does Udak get a turn?
Yeah, Udak's going directly now. So Udak's going to move over and do exactly as you told him to do, which is he's going to use. I'm just going to give him a bonus action to do that. So he's going to start tying up this Knoll, and then is actually going to run over and start attacking. He's not going to be able to make it. Yeah, he doesn't have any ranged weapons. He's just going to tie up the Knoll. You didn't tell him to kill.
It'll be a full action good tie.
Yeah, it'll be a super good, just like totally using the sailor knots, like, no granny knots there. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna have him roll for it because he's using his full action. He ties that Knoll up, and it is asleep and very tied up. You all, like, things are crazy right now, but with the sound of combat, you passively, Rangrim for sure would hear it, but I think that also Glynn, you have pretty high passive perception, don't you?
If it has anything to do with hearing, I would technically have advantage too. But yeah, if it's hearing related, definitely.
You hear the sound of something like another figure running down the hallway towards you,
Towards us.
echoing off the hallways towards the sound of noise, of clattering of weapons. And that's going to bring us to the top of the round with Glynn.
Okay, so to the right of Rangrim it's like kind of similar terrain. It's just more 15 foot. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's a rock pile that slants up from ground level to about 6 feet up.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna get the hell out of there since he's pinned. So I'm gonna disengage and take my full movement, which would get me to here, and then I'm gonna use my action as movement for another 15, which would get me to here, a full 30 feet.
Yep. Yeah.
And
so
I'm just going to dip. So as I like recognize the situation and I like kind of looking around, like, well, this was a lot of fun, but Rangrim, we're gonna need to talk about this one, and I just dart.
Scrambling over the pile, like the rock pile, kind of doing some flips and.
No, it's more like awkward, just like trying to like when you're like at the jetty at the beach and you're like trying to make sure you step on the right rocks and not slip, and it's just like super lame looking. A lot of tippy toe action, like
Awesome. That's gonna bring us to Rangrim's turn.
Okay, do I make another save with disadvantage?
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
14 and a 5, so that would give me a 12.
So you're like, you get like, you're looking over and you're seeing this this elf like kind of running away from you, and it makes you mad. And then you kind of like look over to your side and you're looking at this knoll, and like for a second you're kind of just like, who is that? And then it kind of like, you almost you feel it grab hold of you again, and then you're just like filled with that anger. What do you do?
I just look over at Glynn and shout, like, "You're not running from me!" And I would use my full 25 feet of... That's difficult terrain, right?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult terrain until you get to like the very bottom of the rock pile.
Okay, so it'd be 1, 2. I think my movement speed's only 25. So I think I can only go like 2.5.
Okay.
But go like here, and where Glynn's just super lame, like tiptoeing through the jetty, Rangrim is not as graceful.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like slipping of rocks underfoot and like all fours clamoring that full distance before he gets back on his feet.
Nice.
And Rangrim would absolutely attack, and seeing as I don't have anything to throw at Glynn, I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Awesome. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden you throw a doorknob or something.
Oh, I do have doorknobs, but we're gonna go with Guiding Bolt for now, and that
probably
is
gonna be more.
14 plus 7 to hit.
Ooh, that's a fucking nasty spell too.
4d6.
Does it have a save?
No save. It's a ranged spell attack.
Well, yeah, and just some spells have a save for.
And you couldn't really ask for a better roll on that, because that's actually only 8 damage on 46.
Oh shit! Good in the good way, not good in the bad way.
Yeah, I was a little nervous there for a second.
A 3, 2 2s, and a 1.
I was like, all 8s.
So 8 damage total. However, you are bright and glowy.
I'm fucking radiant.
So the next attack roll against you has advantage.
Oh fuck. Ouchies. So that puts Glynn's taken 13 damage at this point.
Yes.
Is that the end of your turn, Rangrim?
Yeah, that would be my movement and my action. So that would be me.
Sweet. So Noel the Axe is going to turn around, and seeing this small this dwarf that's now kind of charging up behind him, is going to turn around and charge Kazmo, and is going to, no weapon in hand, is just going to go full maw, teeth out, and is going to try to bite you.
He's commanded, right? Did he lose his next turn? Wasn't that last turn where you commanded him?
It just ends his current.
It wasn't his turn. Bobby gets his turn, and he takes his action to drop the
Oh.
weapon, so he loses a turn if
Oh,
he hasn't
shit.
had one yet. Right, chat?
I'm reading the spell right now. Oh, or it says the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn.
Oh, okay.
But that was its next turn and already failed it, right?
Yeah, so it would have thrown out its weapon. Does that mean it loses its? I guess it does. Ends its turn.
That's how
Yeah.
it uses its action, yeah.
So it uses-
Okay, yeah. So it's. I'm gonna turn it back around then. Whoop, 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 whoop. Time just like
Grab, blab, blab, blab.
exactly. Everything reverses, and it does not bite you, and it does not. It's still hanging out over here, and just like threw its axe down and does not know why it did it, and that's going to bring us to Cosmo's turn.
Perfect. And then I obviously like focusing more on Rangrim. You're like, Rangrim, what are you doing?
Rangrim just would look at him like, who the fuck is this guy? I think that's probably what he would do at this point.
Yeah, I don't think Cosmo's raised your ire yet, showing his colors against. I guess he has. Yeah, you've seen him attack. So no, Cosmo would also have your. You would also be angry at Cosmo.
Well, you want some too?
And I'll just say, no, Rangrim, stop. And then I need him to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Command for you.
Ah.
Command for you.
You get a command and you get a command.
Check under your seat. You might have a command.
Oh, is that technically being charmed? Command?
That is a good question. Let's really dive
It's
deep into
considered the effect is prone.
Yeah, so it's a charm spell.
It's an enchantment.
Yeah. I think that's being charmed.
I don't. Tags
is
are.
Are you in the spell?
The tag is control. I don't see
Chat, do you know if command is a charm spell? It doesn't say it's actually considered a charm.
Oh, it's a wisdom spell. Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I rolled a 2
Perfect.
plus 7,
Oh.
so
So what does that mean? So that means that Rangrim now on his next turn has to stop and forfeit his turn?
Yes.
Fuck.
But because he casts on someone else, then
No, it's not a
oh no, it's a single
concentration.
use. Yeah, that's awesome.
Pew, pew, pew.
Dang.
So
that's not
I-
a concentration.
I
That's
can-
just
He's just,
filthy.
I could just-
Cosmo's just yelling at kids. Stop. Put that down. Just like
He's just dadding everyone.
you're the YMCA right now.
You tie that one up. You drop your weapon. You stop it.
Oh my god.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna bring us to Udak's turn, who is gonna turn to Cosmo and be like, "What's going on with your friend? What? How can I help?"
I literally have no idea. He just started swinging at my friend. Something, he's gone crazy or something. Is there like magic in this place? Something's made him go crazy.
Yeah, we talked about that. There's something here, but I don't know why it would get him now. We should have gotten him as soon as we got him within range.
Well,
You know him better than I do. Is there any way to get him to come back?
I honestly, I've never seen him like this.
I don't know. I think there's someone coming down the hallway. I'll try to hold him off, and he's gonna run over here to attack this knoll that's rushing down the hallway. That's gonna be. He gets 2 attacks. That first one's definitely gonna hit. The second one is not gonna hit. Fuck. Okay. So he's gonna slash down with these with what looks to you all like hands just like this. Gonna run in like judo chopping, but they have a little bit more range than what's actually visible to you all.
Bunch of karate chops.
Yeah, bunch of karate chops. But he's going to get 1 hit off. That's going to be a solid 7 as he slices down and kind of this like female tiefling racing down the hallway, like with their karate chop hands, and then just like takes a knoll off guard as this like what doesn't look like it even hits the knoll slices right into the knoll's shoulder, and the knoll kind of like stops and takes a beat for a second. And that's going to bring us to the end of Udak's turn, which is actually going to bring us to this Knoll's turn, who is then going to return fire on Udak and rolls really good and is going to get a good old 6 damage off as it stabs Udak kind of in the side with one of these swords. And they're just kind of trading blows, which is going to bring us to Glynn's turn.
You think with all that time, I think of what I wanted to do, and I have no idea what to do.
I will
so
say
I'm beautiful and glowing.
I will say the visual of Udak's hands just like hitting him and then slicing to the guard is super funny. Just like he's just like, that was the hand? It sliced me. What?
It's like you got cut by air currents or something.
Okay, so
That's all the time I could buy for you. So
no, Glynn's just gonna keep running, and he
So
thinks
how about
he's
that weather,
chased.
guys? Just
He got whacked in the back. I'm gonna take as much movement as I can. So I guess I'll go 25 feet here, and like as I get hit, I'm just kind of stumbling. I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? And I'd see this sword guy, and I was like, come on, man! And how would I do this? Yeah, I would sheathe the double-bladed and pull out the bow, and I would just take a shot at the sword's knoll.
sick. Yeah, roll me attack.
And I can't hide though. That sucks.
Oh, you definitely can't hide. And the next hit on you is going to be a gnarly one.
Well, there's nothing there, right? That's like this little stick here isn't like a pillar or something.
No, I mean that is a earth elemental behind you, but aside from that, a mimic pillar.
Yeah, and I'm definitely staying as far away as possible from Mr. Swordy Boy. That is
He's sort of in the way.
That is a 11 to hit.
It does not hit.
Okay, and then any of this, like, is this just a rock or is this like a pillar going to the top?
It's a pillar going to the top, so you could dip in there and hide if you wanted to. I mean, you're still glowing. You're gonna have disadvantage on a hide, but it's I mean that's a little alcove there where Cosmo was hiding before.
That is technically 30 feet. Okay, I will go in there and I will hide. You say disadvantage?
Yes.
Hide me. Hide me. That's a 15. Not bad.
Okay. I'll say that.
wait, you have
I'll
a
say
plus
that you're-
11 to stealth.
Yeah, I rolled a 8 and a 4. Well, disadvantage.
I'll say that you're not able to hide from this sword knoll. They have direct line of sight on you, but you're able to dip deep enough into this that you're kind of like obscured from Rangrim and the other ones that are of that angle, like that have that perspective of you to the left there.
Neat.
Yeah. So that's going to be Rangrim's turn.
He doesn't get one.
So Bobby just commanded me to sit down, right?
To
I'm
stop.
technically prone.
Does he go prone, or do you just tell him to stop? So he just freezes in place, like you just got.
He just stops. I mean, it does say prone. Maybe as far as combat goes, you would have the same effects as prone, but for RP wise, he doesn't have to like drop on his back.
Okay.
Rangrim, after he yells stop, Rangrim's like, oh, all right. He sits down and he starts like digging a hole with the end of his warhammer as he's just kind of sitting there in all the rocks.
Cosmo, as you reach out, just so you know, as you reach out into Rangrim, like, and you like your command goes out, like you feel resistance. Like there's something there that feels like wrong. Like it's almost like you're trying to control something that's already under the control of something else. And it's like it feels like the spell feels wrong as you're doing it. And it just like you're kind of like almost like electric shock of like, oh shit, like that wasn't good. And I need you to take actually 4 or a D4 of damage. You take 3 damage as like you kind of get backlash that kind of like hits your head as you reach out to Rangrim. It something follows your spell back to you and does 3 damage to you.
Okay.
Psychic damage.
Okay.
And do I get another save?
You do.
With a disadvantage. Neato. Come on, big money. Another 2. So that's a grand total of 9. Rangrim's sitting there, possessed by his hand, digging a hole at the end of his warhammer.
What's up, Cosmo?
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, Rangrim, you don't know who this little dwarf is, but as soon as you can move, you're gonna kick the ever living shit out of them. And that's gonna bring us to the Knoll, the Axe's turn, who now can is kind of overcome his down talking by Dad over there, and is ready to go beat up on Cosmo again with no weapon because his axe is wedged firmly in the rocks, and is going to do a bite attack on Cosmo. That is going to be a good solid 15 plus 4 for 19.
Miss.
So
I'm serious.
that's just 15 plus. Oh, 19 is going to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's like,
okay,
oh, okay, rolling damage.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, yeah. Shit. Yeah. So he bites you and he does get you, but your armor is you can see that this Knoll's teeth kind of break on your plate armor as it bites down. You can hear that screeching of the teeth on metal, which is not pleasant for anyone involved. And that's going to bring us to Cosmo's turn.
After succumbing to this bite, he'll just well, you should really see a dentist about that. But also just really realizing what kind of happened there, and knowing that Rangrim's not in his right mind. I'm gonna realize it, and I'm gonna say, Rangrim, whatever this is, you need to fight it. And I need him to make me another wisdom saving throw.
Yes. So okay. So I'll say that. So you're commanding him to fight this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Two things. Rangrim, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a save again without disadvantage. It's going to be a straight roll for your wisdom save. Instead of fighting against Bobby's thing, it's going to be to save against your thing. If that works for you, Bobby.
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
And Bobby, you're going to take, Cosmo, you're going to take 1 point of damage as it reaches back through and hits you in the head again.
Ooh, 19, baby. So that's a 26 on that save.
Rangrim, you feel this time when you feel this command hit you, you're there's a part of you that's the anger kind of subsides enough for a second, almost there's something fighting within you. Two powers are trying to control your mind at the same time, and one of them, you're the one that felt familiar to you before, and the one that you're oh, this is my friend, this is I will do anything for this this force that I feel, this familiarity in my head. That's kind of goes away, and you start feeling this sick feeling in your stomach as this other more friendly force of you hear Cosmo's voice coming through your head of just pleading with you to fight against this whatever it is, and that comes through, and you start feeling more that wait, this isn't right, something's wrong, and there's this duality in your head now. The anger isn't all the way gone, but there's more confusion now, and there's these two powers that are kind of fighting within you, and I think that your rolls are going to be straight up and down for wisdom saving throws at this point. You're not fully cured, but you are halfway there. You're more in a confusion state at this point of what's going on, and you don't know who to trust at this point, but there's two powers that are pulling for your attention. That is going to bring us to Udak's turn, who is going to continue to lay the smack down on this Knoll of Swords. That is going to be a 15 for the first one and a 2 for the second one. So he's going to get 1 attack on them. And that is going to be a healthy 8 damage on the Knoll as Udak again does the Chudo wind chop with his deceptively long arms, and is going to stab down on this Knoll for another 8 damage. And the Knoll is going to return that attack and completely fucking miss Udak. And that's going to bring us to Glynn's turn.
Made it back just in time. Quick question. Am I still glowing, or do I keep glowing? Damn it. Okay.
It's until the next attack.
Until I get hit. God. Okay. No, I would see Udak taking advantage. Yeah, I would definitely take advantage of the safe little cubby I've made myself into. So I would take another shot at this guy.
It can see you. That one can definitely see you, by the way. So you're not going to get advantage on it.
He's fighting someone 5 feet in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely would have advantage. Absolutely. That is a 19 plus a bunch. 27 to hit.
I think that's going to do it.
That doesn't hit. It misses. And then D8 plus 5, which is
you hit the button in the middle of his armor.
Yeah.
You hit his nipple ring.
13 plus.
It's so precise it misses.
23.
Goes right through it like a hoop.
So 23 damage total.
Yeah. How does this null die? And you are in 100% overkill territory with that hit.
Perfect. So with that shot, it's the ring of volleys. So it's just like spectral or like this glowing energy arrow, and it just like right between the eyes. It gives him like just a third eye. He has awoken, and his head just kind of pops, and then I tuck back, and I'm hiding again.
Yeah. So
there's
a
nat 20, so a 31 on my hide.
Yeah. You are invisible. You are the goat. You are the wall at this point. The wall is confused whether or not you are part of it. So the Knoll's head pretty much like explodes with this like shower of the arrow like exploding, and it just kind of like falls over and just smashes into the ground. And Udak just kind of like covered in gore a little bit and not really. Kind of confused on where the hell that came from because he's never seen you fight, doesn't know what your weapons are. This new weapon is not something that old Glynn had when he knew you before. So kind of looking around, doesn't see anyone, and then just kind of thanking his good fortune is going to turn back around and is going to head back into the fray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And is actually going to probably take a long way around here and is he's going to be able to make it over here, but he's not going to be able to attack because he's using up both his movements to get over there. And that is going to bring us to Rangrim. What do you want to do?
So I'm still confused. I have no idea who's cool, who's bad. I'm just really torn and angry right now.
That's kind of where you're at. Yeah, you no longer are 100% certain who is the bad guy or who is your friends. You're just like you're feeling this like power struggle in your head for your basically for your friendship and attention.
Rangrim is just kind of like looking around and he's like angry, and then he just starts like punching himself in the side of the head. It's like, what is happening?
Give me another wisdom saving throw. Just straight up and down.
That is a 15.
That is going to do it. That is absolutely the save. So you're kind of freaking out and you're hitting yourself in the head, and like it just gives you like this level of like clarity that may not make sense to others, but like this is something that like this pain is something that you can associate with, and it grounds you, and it's just enough to be able to pull you out of the grasp of whatever was taking over you. And as you're hitting yourself, you feel the burning in your hands subside, and it kind of like sputters and like kind of goes away. And Kazmo, you would see that Rangrim's eye would his iris, which actually that's a good question. What color is Rangrim's actual like eye color?
Baby blues.
So you see these beautiful baby blues kind of show back
baby
up
blue.
from baby blue.
He's only got one.
The black, like the obsidian black darkness of his eye kind of subsides, and like it almost like it's swollen. It's almost like his pupil is swollen and overtaken the entire eye, and now it's like come back, and you can see the blue of his eye. And Rangrim, you are completely cured of whatever was ailing you.
Sweet.
But that is going to Knoll with axe is going to continue its attack, its onslaught on Kazmo.
On my armor.
On your armor, exactly. That is a big old 7. So it's going to try to basically just like impotently punch you now because it doesn't want to hurt its teeth anymore, and it just punches your armor and just hurts its hand, and it's just kind of like yipping in pain. And that is going to be your turn, Kazmo.
And Cosmo is just like, well, the first one I was gonna let slide, but now it's personal. And he's just gonna like swing his war pick at him. So that would be a dirty 20 and a 12.
Dirtiest 20. Yeah, I mean, 20 hits.
Do both of them hit? or just one?
No, just the 20.
Okay. All right. So he just like smashes this thing upside the head with the blunt side of his war pick for 8 damage.
Okay. That is it. So you nail it with this war pick, and it like totally. I mean, it's not wearing a helmet. It just totally like knocks it kind of like to the side, and it's just like bleeding out of its ear and kind of like out of its eye. But it is still up. But it seems like it is kind of like starting to really feel this pain.
Well, wow. Usually they just pop. All right.
Yeah, it's a strange occurrence. It's because you didn't smite him. Yeah, so that's going to bring us to, well, Noel's daggers is still taking a good old nap, and even if they were awake, they were going to be very tied up. So that's going to bring us to Udak's turn, who can finally move. And Udak is going to head over like he was planning to before, and just get ready to prepare to attack Noel that probably won't be alive by the time he can. That's going to bring us to Glenn's turn.
Yeah, so I would just from that corner, like it fades from it's pure black to glowing Glynn. Like it's just like completely absent of light, and then all of a sudden just super shiny and bright. And I'm just gonna like peek around the corner and take a shot. Again with my magic arrows.
Nice.
Oh no, that's still gonna hit. That's got
Magic arrows.
magic arrows. 18 to hit.
Yeah, that will hit.
So 8 damage plus the sneak attack. 8 damage plus 14, so 22 damage.
How does it die?
So as he like leans out and just becomes super bright and shiny, he goes, "Hey Cosmo, duck!" And like he pulls back and he lets go. He goes, "Just kidding!" And it just flies right over Cosmo's head, just opens that guy's third eye as well. Just shares everyone's ever-loving joy, and his head explodes.
This thing gets hit in the forehead, and its head explodes, and it just kind of like falls backwards and just like crashes to the ground, and is now very much gone.
Well,
My bonus action hide.
right. Well, there it goes. It was just a little late.
Just delayed. It was the delayed hit.
Pop.
Yeah, so with that, that's technically going to take you guys out of combat aside from this knoll, because it's technically out of combat too. So yeah, Final Fantasy music, and you guys are all out of combat.
Glynn, very much hidden, yells out, "Rangrim, we good?"
I'm not entirely sure what happened or what is happening.
I can tell you what happened. I can't really tell you what's gonna happen. Cosmo, we good?
Right. Yes, we good. I don't know what was in his eyes, but it's gone now.
Was something in my eye?
It was all black and yucky.
Yeah, you looked even more like your daughter. I guess it was a family gene.
I just remember being really angry, and for some reason, I really, really wanted to hurt Glynn for some reason.
This doesn't seem new.
Right.
What do you guys think we should do about this one? I kick the tied up Noel in the head.
Well, he's asleep. I reckon we just don't want him waking up and sounding any alarms.
Should we just, really help him sleep for like ever? And I like just start to slowly pull out the double-bladed scimitar.
Udak, you said that there was some kind of magic here that made you want to stay here before, right?
Yeah. I think that what you're talking about kind of sounds familiar, but I've never seen like the eyes. That's something I've never experienced. That's not something that is part of that, as far as I know. I don't know what could have caused that, but yeah, it sounds familiar.
Well, why don't we see if this chap has any information on the whereabouts of any sort of magic things, as he just starts kicking the knoll in the head.
There's actually just shortly into this hallway, there's actually a storage room. I can't I don't know for sure that no one will be in it, but that might be the safest place to if we need to do some interrogating.
That sounds like a plan. And Rangrim's going to take a pair of the what do you call them, like the handcuffs?
Manacles.
Manacles, that's the word I was looking for. I was going to say mandibles. He takes his manacles and he's going to put them on the knoll, who I don't know if I think he's probably still asleep even after me kicking him in the head because of that magic mushrooms. Like, well, I guess we should do that then.
Yeah, just here, follow me. And he's gonna do a perception check to make sure. It's a really good perception check. Doesn't hear anyone coming down the hallway. So Udak is gonna kind of go up ahead, look down the hallway a little bit, and then kind of ducks into the right here. And so, are you all following? Bringing the knoll with you?
Yeah, as we're doing that, Glynn would be walking by Rangrim, be like, "Can you maybe get rid of all this glitter? I don't know what this is, but can you turn this off? Really kind of cramps the whole hiding in the dark corners."
Is there a time limit on it?
I haven't been attacked yet, so I don't know if I'm still glowing.
It's only till his next turn, if I'm correct.
Okay.
It's before the end of my next turn after I cast.
So it would be long gone.
Oh, perfect.
So all of a sudden it just drops, Glynn. Perfectly on time. Yeah.
It just goes away. Right.
While they turn the corner to find the storage room, I would kind of prop up outside this area and I would hide and keep watch down that hallway.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So Rangrim, Kazmo, as who's dragging the Nolan?
I think Rangrim would be by the manacles.
Okay, awesome. So you kind of drag them into this room, and it's just kind of like a small, narrow entryway into it. But as you get into the room, you can see it's just lined with all sorts of just barrels and crates, and it doesn't seem like there's anything like open or exposed, really. It just seems like it's a storage room for who knows what sort of inventory, but there seems to be like a slight kind of collapse of rocks on one side, but that's kind of, as you move into this room, you just kind of fill to the brim with stuff.
Well, Rangrim, put him down right here. We'll see if we can wake him up. And Cosmo starts looking around for any liquid substances, water, something.
Yeah, do a investigation check.
Sure. Investigation. That's a 6.
You don't find anything. You start knocking on all these barrels and crates, and you're like, start realizing yourself like, I don't know what a barrel full of liquid sounds any different than a barrel not full of liquid, and so you're just knocking on barrels and crates and can't tell anything.
I pop one open.
Okay. You pop one open, and what seems like what seems like just kind of like this syrupy kind of viscous, like dark fluid starts kind of pouring out of it onto the ground, and it smells very bad. Like whatever was in this thing has like gone very, very rancid. And who knows what it was originally. And it starts just kind of like spreading on the floor, and it's just like got this acrid smell and just like this black color.
And I just say, "What does it do?" And I throw it on him.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw with advantage, Bobby.
Oh. Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be all of it. So that is 18, 22. That's a 30.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, your dwarven resilience, your iron stomach comes into play here. As you kind of like, are you throwing it on them, or are you kind of just like putting a glop of it in your hand and throwing it in their face, or are you pouring it onto them by holding this barrel up?
I think I would have gone for a barrel and just gone for like not like the whole thing, just gone for like a decent pour. Just like it's a barrel, so a barrel size swig onto the guy.
Yeah, so like I said, this stuff is kind of like viscous. Think like I don't know, if if you leave some sort of I don't know, if you left like maple syrup out and it just like went rancid, think of like how that would be. So like it has a viscosity to it, but it pours onto this thing's mouth and face, just kind of like coating him completely, filling this entire chamber with a disgusting smell. So anyone close is going to have to probably do a save. But this gnoll is going to, I'm going to give them, are you trying to do an intimidation check on them?
I was trying to wake him up.
Okay. Do you have their mouth covered or just covered in goop?
It would just be covered in goop now. We didn't gag him.
Okay. So yeah, this gnoll is just like trying, kind of like yipping and crying out through this goopy, kind of like drowning, this wet, sickly cry that it's doing. That's kind of echoing down this chamber now.
As it starts to yell, I would like grab its mouth. Do they have a snout? Is it like snouty?
Yeah, it's like a hyena person.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was. So yeah, I would clamp their mouth shut.
Okay, yeah, roll me a strength check with advantage.
Glynn would be taking, since like kind of posting up, he'd be taking 10 minutes to cast Find Familiar.
Okay, cool. Are you bringing Poe as a raven?
Yeah, Poe will be coming in as a raven.
Okay.
It would be a 18.
Okay. Yes. So, yeah, you're able to hold the mouth shut. Just for context for this room, to give you an idea of like just generally how this, how this mine is progressing. The grade downhill is actually pretty steep, and as you entered into it, I should have said this earlier, but it's just like it's stiflingly warm in here. It's very humid, and it's also just like kind of sticky, but also like really hot. Think like sauna, kind of. But it's like it's very much like as you were heading down this hallway and then went off to the right, like the grade going downhill is relatively steep. But yeah, this gnoll is very much now quieted and covered in goopus.
Rangrim's going to take one of the busted pieces of the doorknobs, like a real sharp one, and while looking at the gnoll, he's going to reach into his pocket and he's going to take out his water skin and he's going to pour it into like a small container, any piece of like wood that has any sort of small bowl shape to it. And he's going to look at the gnoll and he's going to pull out that bag of dust that I got when that guy's body turned to dust. And I'm just going to start ominously mixing it into the water.
Okay.
And we'll look at him like, you know what this is? Nastiest poison we ever found. Got it off a necromancer we killed one time. It turns your bones into jello. So you're going to be doing some talking, or else you're going to be a jellyfish in this storeroom until you die from something else.
Intimidation check with advantage. Which I believe you get you get some sort of bonus too from having an eye patch, I believe.
Is that a thing? Because that's amazing.
I think that you get, I think you have like a plus to your intimidation, but we can figure that out.
You also get a +4 just being next to Kazmo.
That's just, I think it's, hold on.
It's all skill checks.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
It's while you're
All
awake.
skill?
I thought it was saves.
So that is a 25.
Oh, never mind. It is saving throws. It is saving throws.
Okay.
Yeah, so this gnoll like is just like mouth being held, covered in the smelliest crap ever, is just like completely just like whimpering and is like visibly shaking at this point. It's just like eyes are huge. It does not want to be turned into jelly. It is very, very convinced that it will be turned into jelly by this Duergar, and it seems like it is very ready to play ball.
So Cosmo just kind of loosens his grip and lets go.
Okay. It does not start yelling. You can hear its teeth chattering, though, as it's very much afraid. And it's kind of just like sitting back against this pile of crates. Rangrim, you notice something weird with your passive perception. One of the crates behind Cosmo seems to be kind of like going click, 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 and is moving closer to Cosmo.
How big is this crate? Is it like large?
It's a barrel. It's a barrel-sized barrel. Barrel-sized, like a barrel.
Like a keg, like a
barrel. No. So it's probably about 3 feet tall, maybe about 2 feet in diameter, something like that. Is that how big a barrel is? That seems like a barrel size.
Compared to Rangrim, like gigantic.
Hold that thought, jellyfish. Hey, Cosmo, hold on a second, and I'm just gonna kick the barrel over behind him.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me a unarmed attack on it.
That would be a 14 to kick the barrel.
Kick 14 to kick the barrel. Yeah, that actually hits it. How much damage do you do to the barrel?
And unarmed, let me just double check here. My unarmed strikes is just 4 damage.
Okay. You kick this barrel, and you kind of kick it, and it falls back against the wall, and then you see 4 legs come shooting out of the side of it, and it kind of opens up in this like wet mouth full of teeth, as this barrel has become a not cool barrel mimic.
Sick.
As he kicks it over, and Cosmo is just like, "What the?" And he just like smashes it with his mallet.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a flat 17, so I don't know.
I mean, it hits. Yes,
Okay,
it does.
so I was like, I'll pull up the pluses, but I don't. Okay. And so it's going to take 8 damage.
Yeah. So this mimic, you hit it, and it kind of like breaks a piece of the wood off of the mimic, and then like as you break a piece of the wood off, like you can see there's like flesh underneath it, which is pretty gross. And as it does that, it kind of like jumps up at you, or it moves towards you, and it is going to do a bite. Yeah, that's going to be a 15. As this mimic tries to bite you.
He jumps up, and I just like throw my shield up. He's just like, it's attacking barrel.
The knoll is basically trying to like pedal itself against the wall, and is like now kind of against this wall here, and is just like kind of crawling its way along the wall, and just like trying to get as far away from this combat as possible.
Rangrim, smash it! As he like holds up his shield.
Shit! He's just gonna do just that. Very hectically try to smash mimic barrel. Natural 1.
So I'll say that this thing, like as you go to smash down on it, it kind of like screeches and runs up the wall, and is kind of running its way across the ceiling, maybe 15 feet up at this point. And you see Udak try to jump and run to get it, and it goes running out of the room, deeper into just like kind of out of the hallway. And actually, Glynn, you see it coming past you, going click, 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 click on the ceiling as it's running out down the hallway.
Glynn, shoot it!
As it's running away, I'm still casting familiar. So I'm like, what the hell? And I
Just
like,
screeching
keep with the
as
spell, and it keeps going.
Just screeching as it goes by, just like yeah, as it goes deeper down the hallway, and is gone.
Rangrim extremely flustered at this point because he just kicked a barrel that almost bit his foot off, and it screeched across the ceiling. He's going to pick up that piece of the doorknob that he was mixing his would-be poison, and just walks right over to the knoll and has it like an inch from his face. He goes, "Is that one of your friends? Is this some kind of game to you? You got barrels in here attacking us? What's next with you people?"
Nope, not my friend. Nope.
So is it any of these other barrels in range? I'm just going to start kicking any barrel around the knoll, like towards him.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you kick one of these barrels. You kick a couple of these. Actually, just roll me a straight up and down d20.
11.
Okay. I'll say that you kick these barrels, and you kick about 3 of them, and then you kick one of them, and this kind of silvery material starts to kind of like pour out onto the ground, and it's not very much of it. Seems like it was kind of the barrel was low in it. You kicked it pretty low, so maybe like no more than like an eighth or a quarter of this barrel like was at this level, but this silvery kind of like slightly fluid liquid kind of starts seeping out onto the ground through the crack.
That's
What do you guys make of this?
that's different. And Cosmo is just gonna bend down and touch it.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me either history. Roll me a history check.
All right, history check.
I'll say that Cosmo and Rangrim would have an advantage on this.
Okay, great. How it's a history check?
Yes.
I think it's still a 0. Yep, it's a 19 though. I rolled a 19.
Okay. Yeah.
My history is also a 0, but I rolled a 14.
Okay. Both of you would recognize this as a kind of not super common element you find from time to time in mines, but it is known as silver sheen. Silver sheen is something that can be used to basically it's a weird form of silver that is almost like liquid form that can be used to coat weapons to basically do damage to things that have a silver weakness. But it's basically like a liquid form of silver.
Well, this liquid silver. I could use some more of this.
Well, that seems pretty useful to me. And Rangrim's just gonna start like dipping the end of his warhammer in it, like kind of like he's mashing potatoes almost. Just
It's covered in silver sheen and mud at this point. I'll say that you get a solid coating of this on there. What are you doing, Cosmo?
He is just going to take a couple of his light axes, and he's just going to coat his light axes.
Cool, awesome. I'll say that like you're able to get enough of it coated on there before it kind of like spills out onto the floor the rest of the way.
The other thing that I would do is like maybe just like pop the top of the bin, and just to see how much is.
Yeah, so I'll say that you're able to because Rangrim didn't kick all the way at the bottom and like break the barrel open completely. Like, there's probably enough to like get 2 small potion bottles worth of this, like enough to coat like probably two more weapons if you were going to like take it with you. So if you have any empty flasks or vials, or if you can borrow some from Glynn, you can get at least 2 weapons worth of this silver sheen.
I'm not sure if I do.
oh, that's right. Glynn has an alchemy as a toolkit, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So he should have some of those fixins.
Reading through my tools.
I mean, if you have have potions,
I have I have brewer supplies.
If you want to take a fucking flagon of this stuff and just pour it into the flagon, I think that, I mean, you definitely have something to hold liquid in, at the very least a flask or something, if you wanted to do that.
Right. I was just well, I think this is special, and then he'll fill like a flask with it or something.
Okay. I'll say that you're able to get a good flask full before this thing like kind of seeps out the rest of the way.
Rangrim, why don't you ask our new friend here why this place is collecting this stuff? It's very unique thing to keep around.
Yeah. What's with this silver stuff here? That we found in this barrel. I think you just need to start talking and tell us what's going on here, or else it's Jellytown for you, boy.
I don't know. All I do is bring people for them. I bring people and they pay us. That's it. I don't know.
They pay you in coin?
Gold. Yeah, gold.
And you know your way down that way, right? And it's just pointing out of the storeroom.
Yes.
Who's in charge here?
The doc and the brothers. They're the ones. Go talk to them. I just work for them.
Well, Rangrim, seems he just works here, so I don't think we have any more reason for him now, do we?
No, not really.
No.
No, you have something more to say?
He's like backing himself up and pushing himself against the wall, and then he kind of like gets to this point where he like a rock kind of gives way and he falls backwards into a hole in the wall that you did not see before.
and disappears.
Oh shit!
It just kind of falls into this dark passageway that is not much wider than him, and you can just kind of see his feet, and then you see him kind of scramble backwards a little bit more into the darkness.
Well,
Hold on! You're not getting too far here. And I'm gonna follow him, like grab his feet, and just try and yank him back out.
Okay, so you pull him back out of this little passageway back here. What do you want? I told you everything I know.
Well, hold on a second. Cosmo, make sure this guy doesn't ask him some questions or turn him into jelly. At this point, I don't really care. And Rangrim's just going to slowly poke his head down into this hole.
Okay, here, I'm going to move him out of the way a little bit so you can do that. So you look into this hole, and it seems like this is something that was like roughly carved and like very obviously like hidden. Like the way that it's done, it's been like, you can tell it's been carved out by someone who is knowledgeable about how to like mine. It's not like dwarf quality, but it's someone who's been mining for a while, and they're able to like kind of camouflage the fact that this hole is here from view, even though like kind of like a multi-layered rock effect where it's like kind of like you have to know it's there to be able to like really see it. And when he kind of fell back against it and dislodged one of the rocks, it's now like more obvious that it exists. But you can now see this cavern behind is very small. It's maybe no more than like 10 feet by 10 feet. And there seems to be a kind of tall figure that is standing stoically in the center of the room. That is like kind of larger than life, like think like 8 feet tall in the center of this very small room.
Like Rangrim would be like looking down. I imagine they can probably still see the soles of his boots. He's like, guys, I couldn't get that bird of his yet, or
what's in there, Rangrim?
there's a guy there. He's just kind of standing there. It doesn't look like there's much in this room. It's kind of creepy, honestly.
What?
Actually, you know what? And he just comes out of the hole and he pushes the knoll back down it.
Okay. Ah! And then so it falls back, and their head kind of they fall backwards, and their head kind of hits against this figure, and like with a very solid thump. And they take 4 damage as they kind of hit their head against it, and kind of like they're just kind of like knocked. The sense is kind of knocked out of them for a second. But it's a very solid thump against this form, and the form does not move.
Have I finished making Poe yet?
Yeah, I think so.
10 minutes or so. Okay, so as he kind of bamps into existence, say, hey, hang out here. I'm going to go check on the guys. If you see anything, cry like a baby. And I just like kind of let him fly, get somewhere up in the rocks. And then I start walking back. I walk up to the guys. I'm like, so what the hell's going on? I keep hearing screaming. There's a treasure chest that just ran by me. Is there something you need help with?
Well,
Oh yeah. We have another thing here. We got barrels that are trying to kill me and Cosmo. That you were no help for. You over there doing your thing. And now there's this hole here, and there's a real big figure in there. I think our old friend's almost unconscious. Do we go in and see what's happening?
I would just strike a torch. I was like, yeah, it seems like we just need to add a little bit of light to it. And I strike a torch and mage hand float it into the room and just like light as much of the chamber as possible.
Yeah, so you float this thing in there. As soon as it passes the threshold, it lights this room up, because the room is barely taller than the figure itself, so like maybe like 8.5 feet, and the room is 10 foot by 10 foot and barely. And you can just see that this knoll is laying against this figure. The figure, actually, I need all 3 of you, and I'll even roll in for Udak as well.
what are we rolling?
Sorry, history or religion.
Oh, okay.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Right.
That makes sense too.
Because I have a 0 on both of those. So
A big old 10.
A big old 1.
oh,
You forget who you are.
No, that makes actually a lot of sense. Okay, Rangrim, you look into this this now lit up cavern. I assume probably putting your either holding your monocle up or something so that you're not getting light blinded by these torches. And you see this figure in there, and it's this figure that is like bound, and like you can see the marks of like lots of cuts, and they're kind of in a very stoic form with their arms kind of in manacled and bound and like head down, and you immediately recognize this form as the god kind of the demigod Ilmater, known as the one who endures, or the god who is broken. And this form is carved in a much rougher, like very rough way. Like this was done by someone who clearly cared, but didn't have a lot of time or even skill maybe to do it. And it's this like roughly hewn version of this god. But this god is known to be someone who like would take pain and agony on in exchange to like help people. Like they would take on the pain of others, especially people that were in servitude. So like it was, if someone who was a slave or in servitude to someone else, like they would pray to a god like this. And that's the kind of that's what you're seeing here. And being from the Duergar and a slaving race, you would definitely recognize this as a god that like slaves would have prayed to.
I
Well,
would
see,
just relay that to everybody.
it's just a statue. You guys literally have nothing to worry about, and I step into the chamber and hold it. Like I move the torch kind of past the statue, so it's lit on the back side of the statue as well.
You see a small form that, as you move into the room, kind of scurries to keep the statue between it and yourself.
Okay. And I say, well, okay, I wasn't completely right. There actually is something in here. And I lower it and kind of am trying to track the smaller creature with the torch, but like try to keep the torch between myself and it. So it's got to get past a flaming torch to get to me.
Yeah, so as you're moving the torch around, you see this small goblin form that is kind of like very pale in nature. Like it's like even paler green than normal, and kind of comes stumbling out and running away from the torch, and is then kind of like falls against the wall and looks over at you guys and just goes, ah! And then kind of is trying to tuck itself back into the wall as much as possible. Gerd has been discovered! Gerd has been discovered!
Gerd, was it? And I
No!
just like I just like need a belly the knoll that's like laying on the ground. Like I'm just acting like he's just like a padded surface for me to like get down to Gerd's level. So just like a
yeah.
knee directly into his chest, and so Gerd, and like lowers the torch. Like, you need help out of here? You trapped here?
So one thing you notice is that Gerd does not seem to have any kind of altercations or modifications on them. They do have like marks of like violence, but they don't have like they have all their limbs and whatnot. You friend of Gerd?
I mean, we can be. We're not friend of this guy. And I just kind of like smack the knoll upside the head. I was like, but I mean, you haven't necessarily come at us yet. Can we?
Gerd
we help
loves
you?
when you hit the knoll and actually gets like kind of feels like it seems to kind of like laugh a little bit at that and kind of smile and goes over and just like slaps the knoll in the face.
See. Well, yeah, enemy of my enemy is my friend, Gerd. Nice to meet you. And like kind of set the torch a little bit higher so it's not as obvious that I'm trying to keep the distance, and I just extend a hand to shake his hand.
Yeah, so Gerd holds up her little goblin hand and kind of like shakes your hand very nimbly, and then kind of like pulls it back, still not all the way trusting. But you helped Gerd get out?
Absolutely. Just come on this way. I would say, collect any of your belongings, but
Belongings?
perfect. And I just stand up and kind of like make way for Gerd to come out.
Make way for Gerd.
Once she goes past me, I kind of look to Cosmo and say, we might have a guide, but we might need to encourage her to help us get through this place first.
I think you already have a guide. Hi, I'm Udak. I used to be here in this
that's right.
all the time.
Well,
We should
Uday,
get Gerd outside.
well, Uday, I mean, I appreciate you, but so far you haven't known much about the questions I ask.
I did tell you that this is a storage room over here, to be fair.
Yeah, you didn't tell us
all
that the barrels were going to grow legs. And
Well, okay. To be fair, that is not something I've encountered. New day for Udak.
But, well, and, I try to ask you about the magic things. So far, you're 1 for 5. But we'll keep you around.
All right. Well, hey, yeah, All right, that's it. All right, I guess I'll be on my way.
Glynn steps in. He's like, guys, he wasn't upper management. He has no decision making power. He's helping us out. Udak, we're sorry. We do need your help, but
Right.
it
To be
looks
fair,
like Gerd may have been able to move through these tunnels in a way you've never been able to. Maybe we want to at least get an extra tour guide.
no, to be fair, it's been a while since I've actually been inside this mine, so it's been years. So our friend here might have a little bit more recent knowledge than me.
Right. Well, it's combined knowledge. We work together to solve problems. Right?
Mm-hmm. Problem solving is what we do best. And Rangrim's going to also kneel down next to Glynn, also on the knoll, and look over at Gerd and say, could I ask you a question there, Ted?
You help Gerd go outside?
We sure can. Is there you ever see anything that might be making like any sort of magical force field out here, or some sort of magic thing that's making people go crazy or want to stay here?
Like a big, spinning thing full of magic? With magic coming off of it?
Right. One of those. Yes, one of
That sounds
those.
about right.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like that.
That
What?
seems just really
Well,
specific to
shit.
not know.
Gerd was making that up. That doesn't exist.
I think Ted just wants to go outside.
He can go to the bathroom and in the corner over there.
Gerd, how far into these caves have you gone?
Gerd escaped when they were bringing Gerd in.
And so you know the door is like right over there.
Gerd has small legs.
Me too.
Right. It was
Good. What Gerd has been in deeper in. What can Gerd help with?
right.
We're
Well,
looking for the doc and his brother. We want to.
Gerd looks terrified as soon as you say the doc. Like her eyes even bigger than normal. Get very. She's just kind of starts shaking her head. Like Gerd doesn't want to see Doc. Gerd feels okay.
I know it's absolutely terrifying. But remember, we could do this guy, and then I punch the knoll again in the head. It's like this is a Tuesday for us. It'll be fine.
That gets a chuckle out of Gerd for sure.
What if you don't maybe need to take us all the way? Could you be able to maybe draw us a nice little map or give us a recount of where you want us to go?
Yes, that is a really good idea. I'm gonna roll a history check for Gerd. Oh, Gerd rolled really well. Okay, so Gerd, shaking her head very vigorously, especially the fact that you said you could help her outside if she helped, starts drawing this map on the ground. And the map from your current position, it kind of goes up and goes to the right, and then she kind of draws another one that goes to the north. And kind of has two separates off of that. One that goes to the left, and then the one that kind of tapers off from that northern kind of branching pathway. And then when she draws the one that kind of goes down to the right from where you guys are currently, the lowest path, she kind of puts an X off of that. Not really extremely sure, showing you exactly where the thing is, but she goes, Doc.
So Doc's down here, and then these two paths up this way. What's this way? Have you ever made it that far?
That's where work is being done.
all right.
Gotcha. And Udak, does this look familiar to you?
Yeah, it looks familiar. Yeah, generally, they might have changed things around since I've been here, but yeah, that corresponds to what it was before. There's most of the work and most of the mining is done to the north. They have a couple different branches that come off of that. But I don't know. When I was, it seems like it's changed a little bit. There are other rooms, but yeah, this is pretty close to what it was before.
Good. Is there anything in down this path that we should avoid or anything to watch out for?
Doc!
Well, we want to kill Doc, but along the way, is there
more like him?
Ooh.
And pointing at the knoll.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. All right. Any big things? I mean, well, I guess we're all kind of big, but really big.
Doc makes big friends.
Right.
I don't I
That's
don't know what to call them, but
Right.
they're big, and Doc made them.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's real helpful.
Makes them from extra parts and things he doesn't need.
Right.
And she kind of like, you see her like audibly shiver as she kind of like recants this to you.
Right. Well, guys.
So is BK by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's gross.
Got any other questions for good, or we'll show her the front door.
Yeah, I think we can walk her back. Udek, you got this committed to memory.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, we still have one, let's say, loose thread. Gerd, you want to take this one? And I pull out the Spider Queen dagger and I hand it to her, like, in between her and the knoll.
Gift?
Uh,
You give Gert?
I pull that back and I hand her just a regular dagger. But I sleight of hand it. I do like, I straight just like, yeah, sleight of hand. And it's just another dagger that looks almost identical, but it's not the Spider Queen's dagger.
Better dagger? Better stabby?
Only the best for you, Gerd.
Right. Just
She bats her eyelashes at you, very much liking what Glynn is putting down, and goes over and to the knoll and just goes, "Stabby," and just pokes him in the throat with this dagger, and yeah, it just kind of like walks into the darkened chamber. I guess unless it's the torch is still floating around in there, but like,
Oh yeah, it would be just like kind of there.
just relieves the knoll of his lifeblood, and just kind of walks back out and puts the dagger in her kind of like loincloth like get up she's got going on, very Adobe-esque, and is like, "Good, go home."
right. Well then, let's go. We walk back towards the end of the storage room. And kind of look to the right and look to see if I see anybody.
You don't see anyone currently. You don't see anyone. The front doors are still closed, aside from the dead knoll that's laying in the hallway that I don't believe you guys moved. So if you guys want to Metal Gear Solid this thing and like drag them out of the way, you totally can. But right now, there's just 2 corpses currently.
Great.
Poe would be looking down the hallway too. Just if they were to see anything, they would be alerting us.
Roll a
Down the hallway.
perception check for Poe.
Okay. Not bad. 14.
Okay, I'll say that Poe probably hears ambient noises echoing down the hallway, but nothing that's getting closer.
Okay. No, Glynn. I don't know. For my sake, Glynn would not move that dead knoll, but he would definitely rifle his pockets for any just thing. He would just be looking through it was a sword knoll, right? The big one. Be
Yeah,
looking for, like, a healing potion or like some food or like some keys, anything that might be like through the needed later.
Yeah. So I'll say that you come across 5 silver and like 3 copper, and then aside from
Take
that,
it
just
to
like
the bank.
more manacles hanging off of its, and then just like some really shitty hide armor and a couple really beaten swords.
Okay, I take the manacles and I walk up to Rangrim, so like to replace the dirty badge that we had earlier. And as I hand it to him, I just cold cock him in the face. Like as he takes, I'm just crack him across the grin.
Yeah, roll a unarmed attack.
Well, that's probably terrible for me.
Who is he hitting?
He's hitting Rangrim.
18 to hit.
So I'll say that what happens is
Like
you
when
go
you
to
punch someone in a dream.
Yeah,
It just hits metal.
He hits you, and you might as well have hit metal because Rangrim's very solid jaw and bone structure just kind of like, it doesn't move. It just goes, and he just sits there. And Rangrim, what do you do when that happens?
Which that hurt. Well, I'm sorry. I deserved that. And it hurt
You think
a
about
lot.
you think about what you've done. Don't want another one.
Wow, that's a mean right left hook you got there.
I was a
And
kid.
then he just putzes away, and I'm gonna start dragging the knoll bodies into
Okay.
I'm gonna drag them around in the storeroom, and I'm just stuffing them all into that hole.
So Udak and Gerd follow you out. Udak seems to be kind of like acting bravely enough, but they're never leading. They're just like they're very uncomfortable with just being in this place, but they're trying to like they're also very angry.
And Cosmo just walks over and pulls the lever.
Cool. So the door. Are you opening the door all the way, or are you trying to like?
I'm gonna just
stop
open.
it?
I'm gonna open it till there's at least just. I wasn't gonna open it all the way, just till there's enough room out. I forget if it opens up or.
No. So it opens like this. Just you pull it down slightly so that it just kind of cracks open a little bit, enough for Gerd to get out. And then you hear Gerd going out, and you hear Kenku Gerd kind of walk outside, and then you hear the Kenku go, "Intruder!" And then you hear the sounds of a dagger getting plunged into something. Stabby, 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 over and over again, and the kind of squawking cries of the Kenku as the door shuts back again.
I like
Stabby,
that goblin.
stabby, stabby. And then you just see Glynn wipe a tears like, they grow up so fast.
But yeah, so you all are back in the darkened entryway.
Right where we
Udak.
started, just one less mind-controlled Rangrim.
It's true.
Udak, you mind leading the way? We got your back, but we just need to know where to go.
Yeah. All right. So what's the goal? Are we going after Doc first then? Because if that's the case, we probably should follow the map and go south. I can't guarantee he's over there. He moves around, but if that's where Gerd said that he's going to be, then we can go that direction, or we can head up north towards kind of where the work's being done. What do you want to do?
Well, I think Doc seems to be the one with all the magic or whatever his tinkering is. I think if we can find a way to get that force field thingamajigger down, and we can get all your buddies, I can start coming and barreling behind us. So at least we know we got some help on the way.
You think that's with Doc, or where do you think that might be, Udak? Do you think that's with the other brother? Whose name I'm forgetting?
Alton, One Eye.
Alton.
I think that Alton's going to give us the biggest trouble. I don't know where he's at. He kind of disappears and can find his way into different areas, but there's going to be most of the workers are probably going to be to the north. If we're looking to corner Doc and take him out and just kind of weaken Alton's defenses, I'd rather take him out now than having him supporting Alton later. Doc is physically not very strong, whereas Alton very much is. So I'd rather take out Doc now if we can find him. But he's not going to be alone. He makes some nasty creations, and he's seldom without their companionship.
Well, Rangrim, if best case scenario, maybe Doc isn't there right now. We got some time to lay a little trap for him. We haven't
Sounds like a plan to me.
had many opportunities to do so. Cosmo, I know you're very much like, I must fight you. You specifically address me, look me in the eyes, squish. Like, are you cool if we go with this route?
But I'm good with it. Let's do it.
Ooh, the good old fashioned ambush. I'm excited. Udak, it's just like how we got you a couple friends earlier. Remember that?
Yeah. It's like old times. All right, who's going first?
Oh,
Well,
I'll
I
happily
guess we
go ahead.
could, I'll just follow behind my friend here, and I'm going to pat Glynn on the shoulder, and I'm going to give him some heals with cure wounds at 2nd level.
Tight.
That would be 2d8 plus 4.
All right, I have your back, Glenn. I'll keep an eye out.
How about
18.
you? 18 healing.
18 hit points. Yeah, awesome rolls with the d8s.
Shit. I am back. So with that, Glenn's kind of like, it's fine, fellas. Just while you hang out back here a little bit, give me 15, 20 feet. I'll go scout out ahead, and just like very kind of briskly starts stealthily moving his way forward with the group, far enough ahead where he can actually do some scouting.
Yeah. Do you want anyone coming? Do you want Udak coming with you, or are you just going by yourself?
Um, I would say like every 30 feet, I would go by myself and I would like kind of call
Okay.
the guys forward.
Cool. Yeah. Let's do that then. Move out 30 feet, and then we can just kind of I can move them behind you.
So I get to about, yeah. And do I see anything?
Um. So you don't see anything. Roll me a perception check.
This is where Poe would be too, so I'll just do it with advantage.
Yeah, I think that Poe's
both be there.
Yeah.
Not great, but not terrible. Perception. 15 total.
Okay. Yeah. You hear just like Poe did. You hear kind of like echoing noises farther down. But basically, right now, what you're seeing is kind of like there's not a lot of light in this. It seems like whatever lives in here and whatever is taking residence in this place is like comfortable with like very little light. So there's like almost very few torches. So at the end of this, you can see that this thing kind of opens up into a larger opening at the end of this hallway, but it's farther down and it's you don't see anything moving, but you can see that this definitely opens up into a larger passageway.
Okay, I'd relate it to the group. Like, yeah, there's going to be a big opening up ahead. I'm going to move off to the right side. Just give me a little bit of time. I'll come get you in a minute. And with Poe, I move another like 30 feet just to the entrance of the opening, which I'm guessing is like right around.
I need to make a Poe miniature actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I can find it. I can look for a token. Yeah. Is this where the opening would be?
No.
Or still further along?
Still, you're probably only less than halfway down the hallway.
Okay. Oh yeah, if I saw that far down, then yes, I would definitely be bringing the guys with me.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll move Udak up with you. And then are you continuing down, just kind of sticking to the wall?
Yes. I would be doing this whole thing stealthily until I got to the.
Okay. Just roll me. So move 30 feet ahead, and then just roll me another perception check, and another stealth check. And if you're going with sound, you can do the perception with advantage.
Sweet. I was just about to ask that. Okay, so the stealth check's 24 for the stealth check, 14 plus, so a dirty 20 for the perception check.
Yes. So I mean, that's great. So you get to the edge of this, like you kind of see it start opening up, and you can hear like the sound of water kind of up straight, kind of diagonally ahead of you. And then you start hearing like this kind of like heavy footfalls of what you would probably recognize as like kind of like gnoll footsteps coming from your right. And as you're sitting there kind of ducking back behind this wall and hiding, you see a gnoll move past your vision and run across into this hallway, which then you hear like yipping and talking in like a native gnoll language between two gnolls. And then you see the gnoll kind of head back into your field of vision and then kind of head off north. And you can hear them splashing across some water, and then they are out of your field of view and hearing.
Okay, so I would telepathically communicate to Poe to send him, I guess it's going to be a little bit hard, but send him to the left where he had just ran across to send him to scout out ahead and kind of relay what he's seeing to me. Okay.
Yeah. So Poe flies forward, and I'm actually going to give them some perception. It's not super like the roof. This thing, by the way, is still scaling down at a pretty good clip. It's a very steep grade. It kind of levels off a little bit where like these things meet. It's almost like these passageways themselves kind of like all converge and like and level off here in this like one little section ahead of you. But as Poe's heading off after this gnoll, Poe sees that there are at least two gnolls that are kind of like just off to the left-hand side of you. So like directly north of Glynn's current position, there's at least two gnolls. And then there is a waterway that's kind of flowing out of a mouth of a cave and is flowing down to the right-hand side with a pretty good current. And then you can see that there are two gnolls that are on the opposite bank where there is another passageway that continues. And there's this like blue haze. You can see that they're standing in front of this like blue cloud that reminds you a lot of the cloud of like mushroom spores from the from when you fought the night hag, very similar to that, but it's like this like iridescent blue, and they're just kind of these two gnolls are talking, staying away from that cloud, and that's what Poe gives you. Rangrim, your hand doesn't burn with the same sear that it did before. It's almost more reminds you of when you had that connection, that dream where you saw the eye and you saw Regalia like a while back. But it's almost like in your mind's eye, you can almost like hear this like thundering voice in your head, and you kind of like can see in like that it's summoned into your mind again, that vision of that burning orange eye with the green iris, and it just,
You will join us one way or another.
and that's where we're going to end the episode tonight.
Yep, we still get to kill Rangrim.